Yes, we're going to continue on the topic of U.S. assassinations abroad with a historical perspective. The U.S. drone attacks inside Pakistan, Afghanistan and Iraq have received bipartisan support in Washington. And when the CIA disclosed the existence of an aborted secret assassination program last month, congressional outrage centered around the fact that lawmakers weren't properly informed. The open acceptance of assassination as a tool of U.S. policy can in part be explained by the fact that it's been going on for decades.
Our next guest is considered one of the nation's leading writers on intelligence and espionage in the United States. David Wise is co-author of The Invisible Government, a #1 bestseller about the CIA. His other books include Night Mover, The American Police State, and The Politics of Lying. David Wise is also the former chief of the Washington bureau of the New York Herald Tribune. Last month, he wrote a piece for the LA Times on the history of CIA assassinations called The CIA License to Kill. Welcome to Democracy Now! David, lay out the history of U.S. assassinations and assassination attempts.
Well, it certainly began more than half a century ago, and the public was, of course, unaware that this was happening until the Church Committee during the 1970s and the Rockefeller Commission during the Ford era brought out the fact that indeed the United States, through the CIA, was planning assassinations. And in fact, they plotted against 8 foreign leaders, 5 of whom, Patrice Lumumba, Trujillo, Allende, Diem, and General Schneider in Chile, did die violently. And 3 others, notably Fidel Castro and Duvalier and Sukarno, survived, but they were the subject of plots. In fact, the CIA probably can't be held accountable for any of those deaths, but not for lack of trying. And that led to President Ford issuing an executive order in 1976 saying there could be no political assassinations by the United States government. And President Reagan actually strengthened that ban by dropping the word political and just saying any assassinations, and he also broadened it to prohibit the use of contract killers that would hide the hand of the American government. So that's a thumbnail history of political assassination in the last half century.
I mean, more than 30 years ago, the Church Committee, the investigation into U.S. government illegal activity on everything from spying here at home to the issue of assassinations, which there was a great amount of outcry around that.
Yeah, there was a famous hearing where William Colby, the late director of the CIA, produced a dart gun, and that was waived by Senator Church, the chairman of the committee. And this was a gun which the CIA had with tiny little darts, invisible really to the naked eye, with shellfish toxin that would kill people instantly. So that, of course, was very dramatic, and it brought the issue to public attention.
And despite this order by President Ford, and you said was strengthened by President Reagan, you outline how Reagan, Clinton, Bush, George H.W. Bush have all done assassination attempts, so bypassing this order, essentially.
Yes, this is very important because what's happened is in the pre-9/11 world, life was simpler, and the presidential order was clear. There could be no assassinations by the United States government or persons acting for the government. But in the post-9/11 world, and even before that, it became muddy and blurred because in a military setting, presidents from Reagan since Reagan have ignored that order by saying it doesn't apply in a military setting. So Reagan bombed Libya in retaliation for a terrorist attack on a disco in Berlin, and he killed they say the adopted daughter of Muammar Gaddafi, who was the target of that raid very clearly. And during the Clinton administration, the president ordered a cruise missile attack on those training camps in Afghanistan.
David Wise, we're going to have to leave it there. I thank you for being with us. This piece in the LA Times, The CIA License to Kill. I'm Amy Goodman with Sharif Abdel-Quddus. Happy birthday, Sharif. Thanks for joining us.